The top 10 markets with the most zombie properties. If you haven't heard, zombie properties are one of the most motivated type of lists you can possibly pull in wholesaling real estate. And in this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 cities and metros with the absolute most zombie properties. And also I'm going to show you what are zombie properties and how you can pull it right now today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals, and I'm on a journey to help you become rich in wholesaling real estate. Now, the information I'm about to give you is usually hidden behind $1,000 wholesaling real estate coaching and guru programs, but I'm giving you the entire game today absolutely for free so you can get your best success possible. But before I give all this information out, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So what are zombie properties and why am I so excited to break down how you can get your first wholesaling deal this year with zombie properties? Now, zombie properties are pretty basic. They're what we call vacant pre-foreclosures. And you might be like, okay, vacant properties I've heard of, pre-foreclosures have I heard of, but when you mix them, why is it so special? Well, let me ask you a question. Why is mixing peanut butter and jelly in a sandwich make it so special? Alone, they're pretty good, but once you combine them, they are absolutely amazing. This is because zombie properties, kind of like the name, shows that these type of deals are super motivated. They are ugly, they look like a zombie, and it looks like a zombie's living in the house because how nasty and disgusting the house is. So a vacant pre-foreclosure is basically when a property is sitting there vacant and then no one's paying the mortgage payments on the property and it's just abandoned and no one's paying it and usually it's given up. That's one part. The most common part though, part two, is when someone's actually living in a house and they become in pre-foreclosure and they figure out, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this. I don't have the money for it. I'm just getting out of this property. I'm done. And they just abandon the property. They don't make any payments. They don't tell the bank anything. They just leave. And the house is now just sitting there vacant, behind on payments, and they just want the bank to take it over. Little do they know, if you can go actually talk to these motivated sellers, you can actually give them a cash solution, actually help them out like crazy, and probably give them more money with a cash offer than just getting whatever the bank's gonna do on it. And so this is where you can get a win-win solution where you as the wholesaler can make a ton of money and the seller can get some money too. And on top of that, the property is super motivated. So according to Adam data right now, there are almost 1.3 million properties in the United States right now that sit as vacant properties. This is property that's just sitting there, nobody's living in it, it's just abandoned right now. Now, obviously some of those are like second home or third homes from really rich people, but most of them are just sitting there, no one living in it 12 months out of the year. And just that figure alone should really motivate you to actually go out here and start going after vacant properties, texting them, calling them, doing direct mail, whatever you can. Vacant properties alone are amazing wholesaling real estate deals. Heck, 1.3% of all properties in the United States and probably in your own market are just vacant right now. And because these properties are sitting vacant, these sellers that own a vacant property, they're actually losing money because they have to pay property tax on them, which means if you reach out to them and see if they're looking to sell their property, they're more inclined to sell it at a discount because it's more likely to become really ugly and not taken care of versus just a regular house. Now, on top of that, in Q1 of 2023, we literally just got this data. There's around 298,500 foreclosures or pre-foreclosures right now. Something even more shocking than that figure is foreclosures are up 30%, well, 29.9% year over year. Based on Q1 of last year to Q1 of this year, those type of foreclosures and non-payments are up almost 30%. I've said it before, but pre-foreclosures is definitely going to be a list that's doubling and doubling from last year to this year, which means there's more pre-foreclosures now than there has been last year and probably the year before that. So in general, 298,000, that's a ton of properties to be going after. But what's the data on the zombie properties when you mix the vacants and you mix the pre-foreclosures? You get 8,141 zombie properties for 2023. So this figure is up about 10% year over year. And yes, it is rising rapidly. Now I get it, that's 8,000 properties for the whole United States. That's not a lot. And heck, of course it's not a lot, but you probably never even heard about this list. There's not a lot of these type of properties out here, only 8,100 of them. But the thing is, even talking to one of these sellers could potentially lead to a $40,000, $50,000 deal. And so if there's 60 or 70 in your own market, a lot of wholesalers aren't going after this list. And if you go after them and you want to spend a quick 30 minutes just calling those type of sellers, you have a really good chance of getting a wholesaling deal. And that is the point of today. So you might think, okay, Zach, if you're going to show me the states with the most zombie properties, it's going to look exactly exactly like the populations. Like California's gonna have the most, New York's gonna have the second, and then Florida's gonna be the third most, but you'd be grossly mistaken. Here's the thing about zombie properties. The data doesn't care about the population. They're very market specific. So if I pop up a graph here, the top 10 states with the most zombie properties, you're gonna see New York is number 1, followed by Florida and Ohio. So if I look up the most zombie properties per 1,000 people, Ohio is probably one of the top ones out here. You got Illinois, Pennsylvania, Indiana, California, Iowa, New Jersey, and Maryland. These are really good states to be going after it. But let's get into real data. As you know, real estate investing, wholesaling houses is very market specific. So let's get in the weeds of it. Let's get really into the data, and let's see the top metro markets with the most zombie properties so we know which ones we should be going after right now. So here it is. At number 10, we have Baltimore, Towson, Maryland region with roughly 150, 160 zombie properties. Not a lot, but definitely something I'd be going after. Next here, we have St. Louis, Missouri, followed by Albany, New York, which probably you haven't heard of before, but it's the capital of New York. And it's definitely a great wholesaling market. Next, you have Tampa, St. Pete, followed by Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which, guys, Pittsburgh's an amazing market. Compared to their population, that's a great wholesaling market. And then I got Philadelphia, Cleveland, and around out the top 3, we got Chicago, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, and then New York City. Now, New York City and Miami, I'm probably gonna throw off in Chicago, just because there's so many homes in that region. And especially with Miami, it is higher than you'd think. But you gotta remember, there's a lot of old retirees that live here half the year for the no taxes. And so if they just get in a foreclosure, it automatically pops up as a zombie property, which isn't the biggest case. So this leaves cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Albany, New York as some of the top metros right now to be going after zombie properties. Now you might be going after me and saying, Zach, I'll get it. I wanna go after the zombie properties in my market. I wanna go after and beat my competition. Well, let's break it down and let's share how you can pull the zombie property list right now. Now, zombie properties only need 2 criteria. They have to be a pre-foreclosure and they have to be a vacant property. Pretty easy. Most people live in a pre-foreclosure that they have right now. They're trying to milk it out, not paying any money. Or heck, one of my favorites, which is an unfortunate situation, but it's a pre-foreclosure and someone passed away and just sitting there vacant. That's considered a zombie property and really motivated. How you do it is you got a vacant property and you got a pre-foreclosure. Now, pre-foreclosures you can get absolutely for free. They cost no money at all. You just go to your local clerk of the court and look for cases with list pendants or what we call a notice of default. Remember, if you want to learn how to pull that list absolutely for free, just go to my free real estate wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step. Now, for the vacant property, unfortunately, for most places, you're gonna have to pay for this information. The vacant property is not a government list per se. It's actually a list from the United States Postal Service. And whenever somebody doesn't answer their mail, in I think 10 to 14 days, they put a green slip that says vacant on the property. And that's data that the Postal Service keeps for themselves. Now, if you're a nonprofit or you pay a lot of money to the Postal Service to get this data, you can get this money. But it costs a lot of money to get vacant property data. So to mix them all together, I would highly recommend you use a paid list service. My favorite paid list service for zombie properties right now is listrei.com, listrei.com. They're the ones that actually founded the zombie property list, and they're hands down the most accurate and fastest way to do it. So if you want to go out here and start pulling the zombie property list right now, I highly recommend you go to PropStream, aka listrei.com. Try it out for free for 7 days, start pulling this list, and start getting some deals. Guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com to learn wholesaling real estate A to Z, and I'll see you guys soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.